A 40-year-old man goes missing in 1997. For almost 2 decades, he was untraceable. The police failed to find that person. The family members failed to trace that person. But finally, in 2019, after 22 years, the case was solved, but not by any investigator. It was solved by Google Earth. Now, this might come as a shock for all of you. It was a shock for me as a journalist. But also, I will tell you how technology plays a very important role in solving any crime in today's era. This is a story of William Moll, who went missing in 1997, but finally he was traced using Google Earth by a person who was just looking for his neighborhood. Hello everyone, my name is Munish. I welcome all of you in Crime That family. I hope everyone in the family is doing well and fine. Now, technology plays a very crucial role in solving any crime. If there's a murder case, then of course the forensic reports, the fingerprints, the call data record, if there is any CCTV footage available, these becomes very important, and these become evidence for the investigators based on which the accused are arrested, conviction take place. But Google Earth solving a 22-year-old missing case. This is a very curious case in which mysterious missing case was solved, and technology again played a very crucial role. So let me tell you the story of William Mott. He was 40 years in 1997. He was broker, and on November 8, 1997, he goes to a nightclub, and he leaves nightclub around 11 o'clock in the night. Those who are witness in the case, they told the police at that point of time that he was not intoxicated, he was not a habitual drinker. So he doing something purposely, that possibility was ruled out. Uh, After he left the nightclub, he made one call to his girlfriend who was staying in Lantana, and he told his girlfriend that within an hour, the distance was almost 20 miles from the nightclub to his home. So he said that I'll be reaching in 1 hour. But after 1 hour, there was no trace of Mall. He disappeared. The police was called, the sheriff department was told, family, friends, everyone started searching for him. The entire 20 miles, every inch of that road was searched. Every neighborhood, every resident was asked whether they have seen William Mold or not, but there was no clue. Until 2019, there was no clue. How this case was solved, this becomes very interesting. Now, there was one resident of Moon Bay Circle, Wellington, who had shifted to some other place. He was looking for his old house. And when he started looking at Moon Bay Circle, which is basically a pond in Wellington, Florida. So when he started looking for his house, because there is a curiosity, if you are aware that what Google Earth is basically an app where you can try and locate a specific location all across the globe. So where I'm sitting right now, I can go to Google Earth and find out where exactly I am. And if you want to find where I am, then I just need to give you my address. So with the help of Google Earth, you can find where I am. So with the same curiosity, he started looking for his old neighborhood. And when he was looking for his neighborhood, then he found that in the pond on Moon Bay Circle, there is one pond. So in that pond, he saw that there is one uh, figure. It was little whitish in color, and when he zoomed, then it looked like there is a car. So he was more curious. Then he called up his old neighbor. His name was Berry Fay. So he called Berry Fay and said that I was looking into this Google Earth, and I think there is one car which is submerged in the pond. Fay was shocked. He said, "You have gone crazy. I am staying from last 2 3 decades in the same place. I have not seen any such car." He said, "No, I have seen the car." He sent the screenshots, and later on, Faye decided to use a drone. He was having a drone, so he decided to use a drone. And when he started flying that drone over that pond, then he saw that there is something which looks like a car in that pond. So it was August 28, 2019. Look at the timeline. November 8, 1997, Moore went missing. August 28, 2019, based on what a person saw on Google Earth, Barry Fay decided to look into the pond using drone. So when he started looking, there was something which looks like a car, and when he zoomed in, then it almost got clear that there is one car inside that pond. So the sheriff department was called, the police officers came, the medical officers came, and when they started looking for the car, one white color sedan car was uh, basically recovered from that pond. It was completely calcified. So the police officers, they suspected that it might have been in the same area for almost 2 decades. That is why it is so calcified. Again, forensic experts were called. Then the car was opened, and when they opened the door, there was skeleton of one person. So that skeleton was later on sent for medical examination, and in the medical examination, it became clear that this skeleton is of no one else but William Maud, who went missing in 1997, November 8th. So finally, the case was solved. The missing case was solved. How he died, how he ended up in the pond, that investigation is still open. And what the investigators believe that while he was driving, there was some construction work going on that moon base circle in the Wellington area, and maybe while he might be on phone, or while he might have lost his concentration, and he might have entered into the pond. This is the theory what the local police in Wellington believes, because as of now there was no evidence found that whether he was killed or someone intentionally pulled his car, or this was an intention of Moore that night that he wants to commit suicide or not. So as of now, the uh, what you can say, the status of the case is that the police believe that accidentally he might have drove his car into the pond, and when he went inside the pond, no one suspected that something has happened. The investigators even failed to look into that pond, and for 22 years no one was able to find more that he was nowhere else but in the same locality inside a pond. So this is how this case was solved. Again, technology plays very important role. Now there are many cases in which the investigators, as a journalist, we have gone through the technical evidences in the case. For example, if there is a murder case, there is a suicide case, first of all we start looking for the profile using the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We first look on social media. Then if at all we have found the call data record, then we go through the call data record. Then we go to the locality where the accident or the incident has taken place, and we go by the CCTV footage. Nowadays, everywhere there are CCTV cameras, at least in big cities. If a crime has taken place, there are CCTV footage around that area. So you might uh, come across a suspect in the case, or someone who can be a potential witness in the case. This is how a journalist works on a case. This is how the investigators works on a case. But this case again reminds that technology like Google Earth can play so important role. Now, not only about this case, there are at least half dozen cases in which the investigators have got conviction using the technology. There are cases in which the suspects were identified using Google Earth. There was no other evidence in those cases, but finally, the police, the investigators got conviction using Google Earth images. So, again, I'm saying Investigation is an art. It is an art for everyone, not only for police, but also for a common person, a person like you. If someone wants to investigate something, you have to start from scratch. And of course, you can investigate the case on their own, but I'll say don't do it until unless it is not required. Leave the investigation on the investigators. Um, but this was a case in which I was shocked as a journalist. I had never seen this in almost a decade of my professional career as a journalist, as a crime journalist, that a case being solved using Google Earth, and that too, a 22-year-old case of a missing person. So that's all for today. With such more interesting stories, I'll be back with you. And if you have any suggestions, you can post it on the comment box. I'll be happy to implement those suggestions. If you want me to tell you about any story, any murder mystery, any crime across the globe, within India, just let me know through the comment box. Thank you very much.